up, peeps? Welcome to Tribal Council. If you ever watched this show, Survivor, you'll know what that means. I have a reading for you from the angels this week. But before we begin, I need to smudge my environment. I'm only on Instagram TV and Instagram because I deactivated my Facebook account. It's just, Facebook to me has gotten extremely toxic. And I just heard intuitively that it's time to just let it go until the election. And then maybe deactivate it. I don't know. I've been off Facebook for a couple of weeks. And I gotta say, it feels really good to just let that energy go. Temporarily. I'll be back. But anyway, welcome to Tribal Council. I don't know if you know this about me. Some of you probably do. But my son and I love the show Survivor, which is on pause right now. We watched it together for, probably good 20 years. And every time the show's over, I'm always like, man, I could win if they just put me on. I know I could win the money. And my son would say, well, you got to apply, Mom. You got to apply. You got to apply. And I'm just like, Jamie, millions of people apply to the show. What makes you think they're going to pull me out? This freaking little girl from living out in cow country. Like, yeah, like they're going to really... Anyway, one day I decided to just shut him up because he kept saying, you're never going to know. You're never going to win because you don't apply. You don't apply yourself, Mom. So I said, you know what? I'm going to shut my son up. I'm going to apply to Survivor. I put the video that I one day I may share it. The video that I sent in, it was a 3-minute video. It was early in the morning. I had my morning voice. I had a do-rag on. I didn't look like anything special. I was out for a 10-mile walk. And I was like, you know what? My higher consciousness said, film it now. I was like, you know what? I filmed it. I walked, I talked, I filmed it, I sent it in. 3 days later, 3 days later, I got an email, not just from a casting director, but from Lynn Spillman, the lead casting director of Survivor for 20 years. And I don't think I've ever, I was gonna say, I don't think I've ever cried so hard in my life for being so overjoyed, but I did. There was another time I cried harder than that. Anyway, she wrote me a lovely email. I still have it. She said, your video is awesome. Your energy is, I can feel your energy through the video. I'm gonna be in touch in September, October. Keep working out because this shit is hard. That's what she said. So September, October came and left, and I didn't hear, but it gave me everything I needed to believe. And I just kept applying. I did my research, and I found out that the people that actually make it on the show have had to try for years before they even got a response. And I got one in 3 days. So I stayed in faith, and for 2 years, I kept applying, and guess what happened? On my birthday, I got an email 2 years after the email I got from Lynn Spillman from another casting director that said, you have been moved through the process. Send us your 5-minute video, sign all these non-disclosure agreements, and fill out these essays. You have 1 week. Breaking free. You're breaking free of whatever that is holding you back, whether it's your fears. Like I had this fear, like why would Survivor pick me? Why would they look at my video and say, yeah, I want her on the show? But by my son challenging me and me applying, I broke free from the fear that I wasn't good enough. I was in fear that I wasn't good enough to be noticed. And I was, not once, but twice. I'm still waiting but I'm preparing. I am ready to be ready. So I started doing videos. I mean, this is why I started doing a lot of videos on Facebook, because I know that they look at those things so that when they decide to browse my social media, they can see me in all my glory. And I also wanted to get comfortable being in front of the camera without freezing up and not being authentic, because there's something about that camera when it's on you, you just, a part of you just, the real you just sort of dies, and I don't want that to happen. You don't get chosen that way. You don't get chosen when you're fake. And believe me, there are gifted people out there that know when you're not being yourself. So there you go. That's my survivor story. Welcome to my tribal council. Maybe I'll start my readings like that. Welcome to tribal council. Let's see what we have after breaking free. And I'm 5 minutes in, and I definitely want to keep this under 15. So we're going to have to just zip through this. And I know when I get going. Who doesn't want one of these suckers? Vacation, vacation. You know, there are really great deals right now. I understand it's COVID, but I've talked to people who are traveling, and I say, what are the airports like? And they say the airports are empty. And then depending on what airline you're on, if you're on JetBlue, I think the middle seat is open. I think American tends to pack their flights, but I did read that they were trying to take extra precautions for safety and stuff. But when I think about it, I'm like, the supermarket is way more packed than an airport right now. And when you're in a supermarket, everybody's touching everything. You know, if you want to get on a plane, just be prepared. Wear your mask, get a face shield, carry your degermer, the name is escaping me, whatever you call it, the Purell. Pack your Purell, get your face shield, get on a flight and go somewhere. I mean, if you feel like a little trip wouldn't do you any harm, and you're taking the precautions to stay healthy, maybe it's time to get on a flight. Because you can take care of yourself. You can rely on yourself. You can take care of yourself. Trust your instincts. If getting on a flight is how you're going to break free, because who doesn't want that right now? Who doesn't want to break free? Rely on yourself. Maybe go on your own little self journey. Go on your own little retreat. Hell, I'll go on vacation by myself. I've done it. I've done plenty of little trips by myself. Let's see what they want to say about those trips. Well, look, you're on your way, but you have another delay. Remember, delay does not mean denial. Just because I haven't heard from Survivor for the third time doesn't mean that my chances are over. Just because you haven't gotten that phone call that you're waiting for doesn't mean it's over. Just because you've hit another bump to your destination doesn't mean that it's over. It just means there's one more obstacle. This to me indicates one more. Don't give up. Delay does not mean denial. I know you've been in denial because you doubted that person was there for you. You spilled all your cups because you tried to catch them doing something dirty, and they weren't doing anything dirty. They were right there beside you. They were there beside you, and they couldn't be with you all day, every day. But they said when they were there, and you didn't believe it. And now you knocked over all the cups. But don't cry over spilt milk. The story's not over. It's just another lesson. Maybe a lesson of forgiveness, maybe a lesson of trust. We'll see. We'll see what the next card. Can you clarify the Five of Cups? Why she didn't trust the partner? Is it because of the delay? Because there's one more delay? And sometimes when you're like on a roll and you hit another roadblock, there are times when you just want to give up. But this is saying that communication is necessary and communication is vital. But you have to be careful of the type of communication that's coming to you. This card can indicate gossip. It can indicate lies. It can indicate everything but the truth. But what you need to know is how to rely on your own truth, your own information. This is a call to grow up with communication. Grow up. That's what that card is saying to me. Okay, so, this one jumped out. I'm just going to let that stay out. This is from Simply Love. This is the funny deck. This is the deck that reveals some of the shadows. Although the last time I used it, it wasn't that dark. It was a little dark. It wasn't too dark. But I just want you to be warned. And I'm not going to shuffle a lot. If something doesn't jump out, I already have one. I will not force another one to jump out. Oops. So let's see. We'll give it 3 more shuffles because I'm on a time limit here. Okay, nothing else is jumping out? Nothing? Nothing. Okay. Oh! One did in the nick of time. They lost their option. Shit. Lost my option. Did you make a bad choice? I don't know. Did you lose your option because of delaying? This is the second time her cover card came out. Simply Love. You keep popping into my reading by your cover card popping out. But let's put you aside and let's look at the lost option. Did you lose your option? Because this one got in the way. This one's distracting you. And this one that you should have picked is heartbroken. Or maybe you decided to pick the right one and the one that had been with you is now heartbroken. Somebody gonna get heartbroken. Somebody who probably has daddy issues. Obsessive following me. Jeez, you got a stalker? Whew. That stalker need to seek help, or you need to get help. If you have somebody that's on, look at this, it's addiction. There's some addictions. There's some, and it's the Material Girl. Material Girl. That's Madonna's song. Because we're living in a material world, and I am a material girl. You know we're living in a material world, and I am a material girl. And she hated being called the material girl because she was in her spiritual space, Madonna, and she wanted nothing to do with the material world. But guess who does? This karmic person. This girl here, maybe the one you've chosen, is stuck with daddy issues, in addiction, and in the material world. And she's bipolar too. Oh, Lord Jesus. That's see what I say about these dark cards? Did you pick the one that needed help? Is that what you went with to make yourself feel better about yourself? You went with the one who has the daddy issues? Who's obsessing over you? Huh? You think you lost your options because that's the one you picked? You picked the wrong one. The bipolar one. They seem like they're exciting, but you know, did you pick the one that needed help? Because she just wants your money and she's stuck in her addictions. And I don't know, man. I'm down to really less than a minute. So I'm going to pull one more card. I'm sorry about the darker side, but that's what's happening. And if you picked the wrong one, you're the magician. Just create another story, create another path, dream up something else. It's not too late. You can do this. The bottom of the deck is be honest with yourself. For once, be honest with yourself. Look at the dragonfly. I've got to go. Time is up. I hope you had a beautiful day. I hope you do something fun, and I hope you take time to contemplate on your choices, because really, just when you think it's over, there's always a second chance. Peace.